We've all seen those white streaks zipping across the sky, looking like jets have just taken a trip to the world's biggest paint store. But what if I told you those lines aren't just harmless vapor, but chemical warfare in disguise? Yep, some people think those jets are secretly spraying us with something, and no, it's not just bad airline food. Welcome to the wacky world of chemtrails, where every cloud has a conspiracy. So let's dive into whether we're getting a dose of government-grade air freshener or if it's all just a big misunderstanding. The birth of the chemtrail conspiracy. The concept of chemtrails began in 1996 when a United States Air Force research paper discussed the potential use of weather modification systems for military purposes. The paper speculated about technologies that could change the weather to benefit military operations. Although the paper never mentioned spraying harmful substances, it fueled public speculation about the possibility. This sparked the chemtrail theory. Conspiracy theorists argue that what we are witnessing in the sky isn't merely water vapor, but a deliberate act by governments to release chemicals into the atmosphere. These theorists claim that these chemicals could be used for anything from weather manipulation to population control, mind control, or even population poisoning. The idea of chemtrails taps into a deep-seated fear and mistrust of government actions, and it found fertile ground in a time when the public was already suspicious of government actions during the Cold War. The historical context. To understand why some people find the chemtrail theory plausible, we need to look at history. There have been real instances in which governments conducted secretive and often harmful experiments on civilians, often without their consent. For example, during the Cold War, the British government carried out over 750 simulated chemical warfare tests on civilians. These experiments exposed hundreds of thousands of people to potentially harmful chemicals. Similarly, in the 1930s, the British government exposed Indian soldiers to mustard gas, a toxic substance now linked to cancer and other health issues. The United States also conducted similar experiments in the 1950s and 1960s, where chemicals were released in public areas to study their effects on humans. Though these experiments were conducted decades ago, they left a lingering distrust of government actions. This historical backdrop has made it easier for conspiracy theories like chemtrails to take root. The idea that governments could again use people as guinea pigs, this time on a global scale, feeds into the paranoia and suspicion that has defined much of the chemtrail narrative. The Environmental Protection Agency's denial. In 2016, the Environmental Protection Agency took the time to release a comprehensive document debunking the chemtrail conspiracy theory. The document outlined the science behind contrails and explained that they form when water vapor from an aircraft's exhaust condenses and freezes in the atmosphere. Contrails can linger in the sky, depending on weather conditions, but they are not harmful. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, there is no evidence to suggest that any chemicals are being intentionally released into the atmosphere. Despite this detailed explanation, the chemtrail theory persists. Believers of the conspiracy continue to claim that governments, especially in the United States, are conducting secret weather modification projects or poisoning the population. Some even argue that meteorologists who deny the existence of chemtrails are either unaware or part of the cover-up. The role of social media in amplifying the theory. Social media has played a significant role in spreading and amplifying the chemtrail theory. In the age of digital communication, individuals can easily share their beliefs with like-minded people, creating an echo chamber effect where the theory gains traction. Algorithms on social media platforms often reinforce this cycle by showing users more of the same content, leading to a constant flow of conspiracy-related posts in their feeds. In 2021, a Facebook post went viral, claiming that President Joe Biden had manipulated the weather using chemtrails to cause a prolonged deep freeze in the United States. The post spread rapidly, and thousands of people shared it, adding fuel to the fire. This incident is just one example of how social media can rapidly spread unfounded conspiracy theories, leading many people to believe in something that has no scientific backing. How many people believe in chemtrails? The belief in chemtrails is not confined to a small fringe group. In fact, a 2017 study surveying 1,000 Americans revealed that about 10% of the population fully believed in chemtrails, with an additional 30% considering the idea at least somewhat plausible. This significant percentage of the population demonstrates just how pervasive the chemtrail conspiracy theory has become, despite the lack of credible evidence to support it. Why do so many people believe in something that experts have debunked? Some researchers suggest that the visibility of contrails in the sky makes the theory more intriguing. When we see something in the sky that doesn't seem to have an obvious explanation, it can trigger our imagination. We start to search for answers, and when those answers aren't readily available, people can gravitate toward theories that fit their worldview. Pop culture has also contributed to the popularity of chemtrails. For instance, pop singer Lana Del Rey released a song titled Chemtrails Over the Country Club in 2021, which brought the theory into the mainstream. The song's popularity only helped perpetuate the idea, even though the lyrics themselves were more poetic than conspiratorial. What experts say about chemtrails. So, are chemtrails real? According to experts, there is no scientific evidence to support the conspiracy theory. Contrails are a natural byproduct of aircraft flying at high altitudes, where the exhaust gases meet the cold atmosphere and condense. They are composed of water vapor, and in certain conditions, they can persist in the sky, especially if the air is saturated with moisture. Experts argue that the sheer scale of the alleged chemtrail operation would make it nearly impossible to keep hidden. Such a massive conspiracy, involving governments, airlines, and countless individuals, would require an unprecedented level of secrecy. The lack of any credible whistleblowers or leaks further casts doubt on the theory. Additionally, the scientific community has extensively studied weather modification techniques, and while there are projects that aim to manipulate weather, such as cloud seeding to induce rainfall, these methods are well documented and typically done with transparent goals and monitoring. Why do people believe in chemtrails? The chemtrail theory persists for several reasons, many of which tie into broader societal issues. One of the primary reasons is a lack of trust in government and institutions. People who feel alienated by political systems or disillusioned with government transparency may be more inclined to believe in conspiracy theories. Additionally, the theory taps into fears about the environment, particularly the growing concerns about climate change and extreme weather conditions. When people see unusual weather patterns or persistent contrails in the sky, they may feel uneasy and search for an explanation, even if that explanation is based on speculation. Moreover, the rapid spread of misinformation on social media means that these theories gain momentum quickly, leaving those who are already skeptical of the system with reinforcement of their views. The more people hear about chemtrails, the more they start to question whether it could be true, especially if they encounter convincing-sounding testimonials or video footage that seems to show evidence of the theory. Contrails versus chemtrails. Ultimately, the chemtrail theory arises from a combination of historical precedents, distrust of government, and the natural curiosity that people have when they see something out of the ordinary. However, there is no credible scientific evidence to support the idea that governments are spraying chemicals into the atmosphere. Contrails are simply a byproduct of aircraft exhaust and atmospheric conditions, and while they can sometimes persist in the sky, they do not pose any significant risk to human health. Despite this, the chemtrail theory continues to thrive in the realm of conspiracy, fueled by the same factors that have driven other unfounded beliefs throughout history. For many, the idea of chemtrails offers an explanation to the strange and often unpredictable nature of the world, even if that explanation doesn't hold up under scientific scrutiny. While the theory may be captivating, it's essential to approach it with skepticism and critical thinking as we continue to navigate the complex relationship between science, society, and the vast, ever-changing sky above us. If you've enjoyed this wild ride through the sky of chemtrails, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending topics. Got thoughts on the conspiracy? Drop them in the comments. We love hearing your theories. Until next time, keep questioning the world above and beyond.